We've wanted to do this LEGO project for quite a while. We love to travel, so we thought this would be a fun addition to the collection. This is Globe 21332. It contains 2,585 pieces. I have to say, this is by far the most tedious LEGO kit we've done to date. It took us a total of 6.5 hours over 5 days. We could only do sessions of about an hour at a time because it got so repetitive. You'll see why later. It had 16 bags of pieces, but 0 minifigs. One of our favorite things about building the larger LEGO sets is that there are some fun hidden secrets to build along the way. One change for this kit was insignificant, but we've been so used to the orange brick separator that it was cool to see a teal one for this kit. Although this was a very repetitive build, there were some neat surprises we'll talk about later in the video. 4 bags were for the base and arm alone. It took about an hour and 45 minutes to do the base and arm, and we thought we were through the more monotonous part of the build, but we were wrong. Adorning the arm with gold pieces and brown, shiny pieces that were supposed to look like polished wood was actually kind of fun because you could see the progress from clearly being LEGO to looking like something decorative. We started building the earth part of the globe with bag 5. It began with the central ring, which consisted of 2 bags. I assumed that we would build additional rings and then attach them, but that was not correct. The middle structure is where some of the surprise pieces were, though. We had labels for some oceans: the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean. We also labeled 2 continents, Africa and Europe. There's some sort of mechanism in place that looks like it will allow for the globe to actually turn once completed. It's at this point that we realized we were building 32 nearly identical structures. There are actually 2 types of arcs, so we would build 16 apiece. Each of these bags contained 4 structures, so that means 8 entire bags would be nothing but building these globe structures. On one hand, it was quite boring, but on the other hand, at least we immediately saw when there was a problem that needed to be fixed, instead of flailing away trying to fix a minor problem because we had done it so many times. We added 2 new continent labels, Asia and North America. In addition, the sailboat was a neat surprise element that broke the sameness for a little bit. LEGO had announced a commitment to trying to be green, and experimented with LEGO bricks made out of recycled plastic bottles. But they recently announced they had to abandon that in part because the manufacturing process would cause more pollution than the pieces they currently make. In addition, they weren't as durable and didn't stick together as well. I can think of a way they could save paper and ink. Don't repeat these same steps over and over and over. The instructions could have cut several pages out if they just told you to build 16 of one style and 16 of another. Then they could focus on just the earth elements that were added to each piece, which was much more interesting. When we finished half of the globe, and when we got to bag 12, I was so nervous tipping it over. The base and arm were so solid, but the structure of the globe itself is not. Bag 12 contained a neat surprise, a compass rose. We also added the South America plate. It was starting to feel like torture, but by the time we got to the end, we were finishing up each 4-section piece in 20 minutes or so. Finally, we arrived at bag 16, the final bag. We added the polar caps, including Antarctica, and also added the Arctic Ocean label. The globe does look cool, but honestly it's not my favorite build. It does not feel sturdy, and there are even instructions on how to hold it. The Titanic we did, on the other hand, felt very solid. The final step was the label that says the Earth, and yes, it spins. Let's talk about some trademark information now. The name Maparium in Boston is a registered trademark. The glass structure of the globe, as it existed in 1935, is also a registered trademark itself. You can also find globes in Category 1, Division 7 of the Design Code Manual. There are specific sections. Globes with outlines of continents is a Section 1. An example would be Discovery Channel. Globes with meridians and parallel lines only can be found in Section 2. An example is the Adidas globe you may find on some soccer kits indicating a minimum amount of recycled plastic was used. Flattened or squashed globes are in Section 4. The examples provided include worldwide tax treaties, Global Digital Media Exchange, and Peterson Incorporated. Globes held by a human would be in Section 5. This could also be Atlas of Greek mythology. Here's an example of Atlas therapy. Globes forming human face or part of a human body are in Section 6. Check out this logo that is a registered trademark owned by the National Geographic Society. Globes with rings or orbits are in Section 7. Globes with bars, bands, or wavy lines, excluding meridian or parallel lines, are in Section 8. A familiar example of such a globe would be AT&T. Other globes are found in Section 25. What if you wanted to sell globes? Globes are an International Class 16. Other types of globes can be found in different classes. For example, lamp globes are in class 11, snow globes are in class 28, and gazing globes are in class 20. We have one Earth, so while taking care of God's creation, don't forget, trademarks are fun.